Yo, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? How you guys doing? I bet you guys didn't expect to see me tonight, did you? We're just gonna hang out a little bit. I'm a little bit drunk. Basically, I have a couple grievances. A couple things that I've been experiencing in America, right? That I feel like I have to vent about a little bit. You know, a lot of people might think Sweden and America is like very similar when it comes to politeness, social interactions, social expectations. Actually, not quite the case at all. America is very, very different when it comes to social interactions and like politeness and whatnot, right? I've had a couple run-ins lately, right, with people who I don't know on the street, in grocery stores and shit like that. That actually puzzles me a little bit. Now, I know why these happened, but I want to explain it from my point of view and why I think it's fucking weird, right? I understand it. I know American standards and whatnot, and I'm like, okay, I kind of see what happened here, but also it's like, oh, I cannot accept this being. I don't want to lay down, right? Like, I don't want to accept it as truth. So I have a little list here, okay, guys? I came prepared for today's stream. So one thing that I wrote down here is cursed out in a grocery store. So someone cursed me out in a grocery store 2 weeks ago. It was at Ralph's, downtown Los Angeles. It's a pretty decent store. I go to it once or twice every month. Usually when I go there, I get smaller grocery items. Like I'll go get I'll get food for a specific dinner I want to make, for example. By the way, I'm in a yapping mode today. So if you don't like yapping and long tangents, peace out, dude. I'm going to be yapping, okay? When I go to grocery stores, sometimes I have this issue. This is why I can't go grocery shopping with other people, right? I have this tendency of browsing the goods, right? To me, American grocery stores are still very exciting. And I did do this in Sweden too. So it's not a completely thing that everything is foreign, but I have a tendency of browsing every single aisle in the store, even though I don't need anything, actually. So I browse the goods. I go down the ketchup aisle. I go down the sauce aisle. I go down the meat aisle. I go down the freaking pantry aisle where fucking wheat and whatnot. I do it all, the whole store. I enjoy it, right? It's chill. It's relaxing to me. But my immersion was ruined, right? My perfect little store immersion was absolutely blown up because when I turned down in the pasta aisle, there was a young woman with 3 children. And already I was like, okay, I'm going to have to somehow pass this person. I have a wagon. Let me paint the scene here completely. She's browsing the goods, just like what I was planning on doing. I go towards her. My Swedish mind expects her to politely, without saying anything, move slightly to the side. She sees me. I'm a pretty social anxiety kind of person. Like, I keep to myself. I look down in the floor. I avoid eye contact at any cost. So I turn down this aisle and I'm like, okay, please move. Please don't make this weird. Don't make this awkward. I look up at her. I smile. And I just keep going towards her. Her cart is weirdly enough in the middle of the aisle. I still see like an opportunity where I can politely, quietly just go around the wagon, right? She was looking at the goods. She looked down at me a couple times as I was coming up. Her kids are kind of browsing the aisle with her. And I quietly just turn around her wagon. What's it called? You guys call it something else. Everyone laughs at me when I say wagon. It's called something, a cart. She has her cart in the middle. I politely go by. No contact, by the way. I'm not hurrying. I'm chilling, right? Like, we're chilling. As I said, I browse slowly. I'm not in a hurry. It's after work. I'm chilling, right? I walk right by her. And she said, "Excuse me." I was like, Sorry, what was that? So she said, I was like, "I'm sorry, like, what did you say?" Didn't hear her at first. And she said, "I said, excuse me." I was like immediately like, what did I do wrong? What's going on here? What could I possibly have done wrong? And she repeats herself, "Excuse me." I said, "Excuse me." And I was like completely confusion struck. As a non-native speaker, this is when my English lacks. Like I short circuit and I just look at her and I was like, what? And she says, I could have moved if you asked me. I was like, oh no, I didn't mind. I didn't mind like walking around you. It didn't bother me. I was just chilling, right? And she was like, oh, I noticed you didn't mind. She yelled at me. At this point, like she's yelling. She was like, I noticed you didn't mind. Like, she's talking to me like she's talking to one of her kids. Like how you would lecture a kid, she's talking to me. And I was like, oh, whoa. I really didn't mind squeezing by you. It was like nothing. I just needed the oil. Right, it was oil. I was going to grab some oil. I was going to cook for people at home. I got the oil. It's like, I really didn't mind walking by you. And she said, you're rude as fuck. And I was like, why? You know, I don't let shit slide. Like, weirdly enough, I'm very like socially anxious, but I'm a little bit of a Karen myself, right? I'll talk back. Like, I don't mind talking back, you know what I mean? And I was like, what are you talking about? I just walked around you. I really didn't mind walking by you. I didn't bother you. I didn't touch your cart. I didn't do nothing. I let you do your thing. Like, I kind of rattle off some things to try to defend me here. I'm like, this is war. And she's like, how about saying excuse me? How about saying excuse me? Like, she's yelling. In my mind, I'm like, right, there's this fucking weird rule in America where you're supposed to say excuse me out of politeness, right? You guys know that. There is that rule, specifically in middle America, right? In the South or whatever. It's extra important. And this is something I've known. But like, if I just walk quietly by you, we're not even looking at each other, why would I say excuse me? In my opinion. I know that's the polite thing to do, but I simply walk by. Like, there was not any issue here. I've kind of talked to people after the fact, like friends of mine, and like, yeah, they say like, yeah, people are weird about excuse me sometimes. Sounds like a boomer. No, this was a 20 to 33-year-old, I would say, mother of 3. And I'm like, do I really have to say excuse me every time I pass someone in a fucking grocery store? Her cart was in the middle. She was on one side, browsing goods. I quietly walk by her. We don't touch. We don't interact. We don't do nothing. Fuck off. I'm not gonna say excuse me, bro. Like, I'm over it. I know that's the polite thing to do, even though, but like, bro, we're not even having eye contact. We're not even interacting. Like, this is where I'm kind of over it, bro. I'm not down like that. You're insane for calling me out like that. I'm over it, bro. No. And listen, I acknowledge I'm a pretty polite guy. I am a pretty polite guy. Like, you're never going to catch me being rude on purpose or nothing like that. Like, I feel like I'm very careful doing things like that. And where I'm from, in Sweden, when you grocery shop, you don't even say a word to anyone. Unless they're like openly, clearly inviting you to talk to them. There's very highly social people in Sweden that wants to, but there's a respect between two Swedes that if one Swede clearly doesn't want to talk, there's not going to be a word exchanged. A nod, maybe when you go into an aisle and you kind of go to Swede, you nod as a thanks, maybe, at most. I use the word excuse me, or like pardon, or like some shit like that. Like, I will do that at certain occasions where I need to get their attention, where I need to like figure out a vibe, right? Like, if I need someone to move, I'll say excuse me, or even if they move preemptively and I'll say excuse me. Like, I do that in most cases. But this time I was like, it was such a weird interaction to me, and I've been wanting to talk about it. It's really, really bizarre. And I get it. Listen, you got 3 kids in a grocery store. That's probably fucking stressful as fuck, especially in America, especially in downtown Los Angeles. You got to be on your tippy toes as a mom. I respect that. Like, listen, I hear you. That's not your problem, though. She should have not acted that way. I mean, yeah, that's probably what most people would have thought. But damn, like, she was just looking for a fight, I feel like, honestly. And yeah, I think that her kids said something to me after the mom said something, when she cursed at me. But yeah, so I squeezed by, right? And we had this back and forth, and she said, "You're fucking rude." I was still browsing the oils, right? Just a couple clicks down from her. And I was fuming, man. I was like, for a second I was fuming, but then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna fucking keep grocery shopping. And I looked for my oil, and then I left the aisle. And that's that. And she was like yelling and being mean to her kids after I left. She was like yelling at her kids. I could hear while I was further down the aisle. After every time you have one of these social interactions, right, where you get into some sort of a feud, it happens so fucking rarely. But you know, sometimes you run it in your head a couple of times, and you're like, oh, I wish I said this, I wish I said that. At the end of the day, I obviously wouldn't have popped off or anything because she had kids. I'm not gonna do anything crazy, but I wish I was like, I stood up a little bit more for myself, because I pretty much scurried away right after I got my oil. So basically the premise of the story is not saying excuse me when you pass someone, even though you didn't need them to move. I thought I was doing a nice thing because she was browsing the goods. She had her kids around her. I was like, I don't need to bother this woman. I don't need her to think that she needs to move her cart for me. I'm fine with you just doing your thing. I'm going to just quietly walk by you. You know what I mean? Such a small thing to get mad over. I think this happens a lot in America and big towns. People who live in big cities, like in the middle of fucking downtown Los Angeles, you're kind of fucking wound up. Is that winded up? Like you're on your last fucking straw. Like driving is insane. People are insane. Like you get wind up. Boom, boom, boom. And then just when you get annoyed at someone, boom, you're gonna let go. While in Sweden, like, you have nothing to be mad over. Like, sure, maybe like family stuff or whatnot, but you're not gonna be like, there's no traffic, there's not like any weird people out, there's no people who's like trying to kill you or rob you on the street. Jönköping is in Stockholm, mate. I mean, true. When I say where I'm from in Sweden specifically, there's not a lot of traffic, but I know when I visit Stockholm. I used to visit quite a lot because I have family and friends down there. Yeah, there's bad traffic. Honestly, Stockholm is kind of like very similar to LA in a lot of vibes, especially with like the housing market. It's fucking insanely expensive in the heart of the city, and then you gotta like live far out to afford it, and you gotta drive into the city to work. It sucks. So that's kind of my one Karen story that I had on my mind today. There's a couple other things that's happened to me. This is kind of the past month, right? I have a list of 6 things the past month. I feel like if I was in Sweden, I wouldn't even have this many things happen to me in a year. You know what I mean? The second thing I have written up here on the list, it's a self-imposed issue, right? My car ran out of gas. Why, you might ask? I was curious how long and far I could drive with the little lamp on. The lamp was on for about probably 10 work days, so about 2 weeks, right? Now, mind you, I live pretty close to work. I drive for 10 minutes maybe. Honestly, I was starting to believe in like fucking magic. On the 5th day, I was like, damn, my car's magical. My car doesn't need gas. It drives on nothing. Great. I was like, I'm set for life. Gas is a scam. Gas is a myth. I'm chilling. I thought I was onto something. Day 6, I was like, holy shit, bro. Holy shit, bro. I'm driving on fumes here, dude. Day 8, I was like, oh my God. I was starting to tell people, like, my God, my car is like magic. And day 9, right? My dreams came crashing down. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning, right? I turned the key and I hear there was like one too many. I was like, oof. I was on cloud 9 at the time. I was like, this car is invincible. So I didn't even consider it. But in retrospect, it's like, yeah, that car was out of gas even at home. I start driving and I'm at the red light. When that green turns on, I floor it up to 30 and then I chill. Like I don't speed or nothing, but I like to get going quick. We don't have a lot of joys in the morning. That's one of my joy in the morning. I hit that gas pedal really fucking hard. Up to 30. I drive a really old Subaru Forester, like 4-door, like a big car, right? Like we're not going quick. It doesn't go fast. At this green light, I put the pedal to the metal. I feel like I lost gas immediately. So I was like, holy shit. I knew right then and there, it's like, this is gas. My car doesn't have any gas to drive. My car is out of fuel. I'm done for. I was like, I'm gonna be late to work. This is a disaster. But hold on. I was still going. I was gonna try to make it there. I was like maybe 5 minutes away. I keep going, and I hit a green streak almost all the way to work. Almost, right? Almost. Just about to do the last turn, it stops completely. And I actually don't make it into the parking lot. I have to park outside, and I'm like, oh fuck, how embarrassing. I already opened the gate. The security guard has already come out of the security gate. Like, he sees me park down the road. I'm like, I pretend to be on a phone call just to make it less awkward. I get so socially anxious that if something weird like that happens, I just pretend to be on a phone call to kind of calm myself down. I just sit there and I'm like, what the fuck should I do? Should I go up to the security guard and ask him to push the car? It's like, I don't know. I'm on WhatsApp a little bit, looking through chats, checking the weather or some shit. Then I'm like, please. I turn the key again, and I get all the way into the office. I just drove it in. I was just barely able to back it into the parking spot. Now, I double parked. I was a bit late, right? I don't really think about it at the time. I go up, I work for a while, and then it's like, this person behind me calls me. It's like, hey, I gotta leave. And I go down, and I'm like, fuck, my car's out of gas. And I don't tell them. I start driving out, and it doesn't go out of the parking lot. I was like, oof, this is super embarrassing and awkward. Luckily, the person behind me, they're chill. We're chill, right? The security guard is there. I was like, boys, I'm not gonna lie. My car is out of gas. I had to explain the whole thing. I was running an experiment. You guys are gonna have to push my car out of my spot. They push it out. The person drives out. And then, by the way, fucking legend, Jeremiah, drives out, parks his car, comes back, pushes my car in. Absolute legend. But I get it back into the spot, and then the day go by, and I'm like, I'll just figure the gas situation out later. And that's that. End of work, I'm like, I called my girlfriend, come pick me up. And now I had to explain it to her too, because I wasn't telling anyone about my little experiment. Because we're lazy, we decided to just drive home. I was like, honestly, I don't want to get the gas right today. Let's get it tomorrow. And I'll take your car to work tomorrow. And then I'll go get gas on the morning, fill it up in my car, and then we'll figure it out, right? So in the morning, I wake up. This is the day after. I realize I don't have a gas jug. So what do? I guess I'm not that smart. I thought I was somewhat smart. I grab a gamer sub cup. That's the biggest container I have at home. I go to the gas station. So I fill the car up just because I'm nice. Put some in the gamer cup. I'm not even able to fill the gamer sub cup up because it stops when it hits the water level. And the nozzle is too far, and the nozzle had to be touching the rim to get the gasoline out of it. So I was like, oh my God, I have a half full gamer sub cup of gas. I'm like, this will have to do. I should have brought 2 gamer cups. I go to work, I park the car, and I'm like, okay, work day, I'll figure this shit out when I'm off work in the afternoons. Fast scroll to end of the work day. I'm like, okay, time to figure this gas thing out. You know, when you put gas in your car, you need to push with your gas thing. When you pour the gas in from the gamer sub cup, it doesn't go into the actual gas tank. You need to push a pen or something to open the little metal thing. I have a empty water bottle laying in my car. I have my little flip knife. I carve out the lid. So I have a little one of these with like a what do you guys call that? Like a little freaking funnel. Funnel is the word. So I have a funnel, and then I put my key into the gas hole, and then I pour in my gamer sub gas in there. I'm like, oh wow, that was not as much gas as I thought it would be. But I'm like, hey, I'm gonna drive my car home today. And I start driving. It's like, hey, maybe we're good after all. Or actually, when I started, it was like, it barely started. But once I got it going, I was like, it was on, right? I was feeling good. Open the gate, I drive out. First turn I make, like 10 seconds later, I was like, already the car is like woo, 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 and slowing down, and like I can't push the gas pedal all the way down. This is gonna be a close one, right? Gas station is about in the middle. So from the office, gas station, then my house is about the middle. Might make it. It's like 5 minutes away. I get to the first red light. I'm like, ooh, this is kind of scary. Red light, right? I get through the first red light. We're chilling. We're kind of puttering along. And then I get to another red light. I got through that too. So I'm finally like aligned myself. So I'm on the big straight. I've gone through all the side roads. So I'm on the big straight. It's a straight shot straight down to the gas station. I'm like starting to, I pull over. I was like, I try to start again. Mind you, with one gamer sub cup in the engine. I start again. I get a little bit further, then park by the side of the road. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep doing this, right? And then I go to try to start it again. Nothing. There's nothing. The car won't start anymore. There is literally not a single drop of gas in my car anymore. Downtown, you know, it's an interesting place. There's a lot of different cultures, and you know, let's not sugarcoat it. We got a pretty bad homeless person situation down here, right? My car broke down on fucking Skid Row, pretty much. I ain't gonna lie. It was a street full of tents, little fucking shacks built of fucking all sorts of woods. I'm like, yeah, I'm rolling, right? And I'm rolling, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to stop my car right here. It's outside of a long line of tents. What do I do here? Got a couple different options. Call a friend, call a company, or walk to the gas station and hope my car doesn't get broken into. Which one do you guys think I picked? I walked. Yeah, I walked to the gas station, maybe 6 blocks. It's gonna be a 10-minute walk or so. I start booking it. If the car sits here for 10 minutes, it's gonna get broken into. And to add on top of everything, I was moving recently and I still have a lot of shit in the back of my car. Like, you can't even sit in the back seat. I still have a lot of shit, important shit in the back of my car to add on to. There's an Xbox in there. There's all sorts of things. It's basically an IRL loot box for anyone who wants it. It's an old car. You can break the window. You can pick the lock. Easy. In front of me spawns one of these scooters, and I'm like, oh, please be the scooter app that I have on my phone. And guess what? It was. It is the scooter app that I have on my phone. Scan that shit, drive to the gas station, fill up my gamer sub cup, because I still don't have anything else to fill up. This time I try to fill it completely. I put it in my hoodie pocket, and it spills gasoline all over me. I get gasoline into my underwear, I ain't gonna lie. I didn't close the lid properly. So when I was scootering, I didn't notice all the gas was just spilling out all over me. I get all the way to my car. I cut up another water bottle as a little thing, and I pour it in. This time we'll make it, but I run into another issue, of course. Where I've parked, the end of the road slopes about 10 degrees. Like there's a slight slope. When I pour in the gas, it doesn't reach the fuel pump in my car. So when I turned the key, there was just a little bit gas coming in there. So I have to drive on the side of the road and up on where it's flat to get the gas to go into the engine. And I successfully do that, guys. And guess what? I was able to drive no issues to the gas station. I filled that bad boy up. Full tank, guys. Yeah, I filled that shit up fully. Most gas stations sell like 1 gallon tanks in the store. I didn't want to spend $10. I didn't want to spend $10. Gas prices in California are getting crazy. No, bro. You think that, but you're wrong. I'm from Sweden, man. I pay over $10 a gallon. Yeah, you used to. Not anymore. I feel like I'm getting away scot-free paying fucking almost nothing here, dude. Like the gas prices in America or in Sweden are crazy, bro. Maybe not 10, but it's fucking up there, dude. So we've told my cursed out in a grocery store story. We've told my ran out of gas story. Very dramatic stories here, guys. The next story is a guy that ran out in front of my car. A little bit of a more serious situation, right? A little bit more life and death kind of vibe. And again, we're gonna talk about this unfortunate situation going on in America, or in LA specifically. People on drugs just roam the streets in LA, especially where I live. I was on my way to get home from work. It's a 3-lane road and 2 extra lanes going the opposite direction. It's like a city road, so it's not like there's no barricades or nothing on the sides. People drive fast in downtown, like pretty fast, especially for how much activity, like walking activity you got around you. And this is a little bit of a shorter story. It's just a scary thing that happened to me literally last week. My lane specifically, we're going pretty slow. Luckily, right? Otherwise, I would have literally killed someone this day. And I say that with no ounce of irony. This dude comes out, like he was literally sitting. I think he might have tried to go. He might have been trying to get hit. Like I genuinely think so. He must have been hiding behind this parked car, and he pops up, runs right in front of my car. It wasn't like a pedestrian trying to get over, like looking down the street, trying to like find a spot. He had his eyes on a point on the other side of this 5-lane road, and he wanted to get there. Like, I don't even know. Honestly, he wasn't trying to get hit. He was very high on drugs, and he wanted to reach a destination on the other side of this 5-lane road. He has his eyes locked like this. Like, he was literally not looking anywhere else. I almost hit him. He's right in front of me. I slam my brakes fully. Like, maybe I was driving 15 to 20 miles per hour. I go to a full stop to try to avoid this guy. Lane next to me does not stop. He just passes them like this, literally millimeters. Now, if he got hit by that car next to me, he wouldn't have gotten super hurt. He wouldn't have died. They were driving like maybe 20, right? Same speed as me. Same with the lane next to them. They were driving 20, same direction as me, all of us, going one way. The scary thing is, this is right after a red light, luckily, on our side of the road. We just got started moving, and he just clears all those lanes by just the lock of a drawer, right? The scary thing is, because the red light already did turn, and the first cars who were waiting on the opposite side of the red light are already moving pretty fast. Because usually those people, just like what I said, they kind of floor it, right? So they were driving probably at that point 45, 50 maybe. I see him, I'm realizing I was the passenger. I don't know why I explained it as I was driving. But yeah, the car I was in, slammed on his brake, boom. And I'm looking over, I'm following this. The person I'm with realizes that this person is gonna die. Like, genuinely realizes that this person is gonna die. They look away because they don't want to see it. And I'm like already fully turned because I'm like, this dude is gonna get hit. Like, I'm looking. We both like go, oh my God. And this dude runs right in front of like a car that's going 50. And by some sort of fucking miracle, does not get hit. He was grazed by the car going 50, which is absolutely fucking insane. He was grazed by a car going 50. And I'm like, immediately, he didn't get hit. Because I'm noticing the person next to me is like almost tearing up. Because they thought they were gone, bro. Like, this kind of crazy shit is just fucking around you all the time. It's insane. Like, driving home from work and you might hit someone and it'll ruin your life, right? Because it'll be your fault too. Because usually when you're the driver and someone runs out in the street, like, that's gonna fuck you up. Drugs is fucked up, man. And where I live in LA, like, there are support systems, but once you're there, you know, at that point, we all know what I'm talking about. Once you're like homeless and you can't do anything about it, like there's no helping. There's no like effective government program that helps people like this to get out. It's crazy, and it's sad, and it's affecting everyone around you. Like, people like that probably gets hit every day, and that's gonna fuck up whoever hit them, and that's gonna like it ripples, bro. It ripples. So it's crazy, bro. And it's sad. It's very sad. Yeah, that's a little bit of a downer story. It's a little bit of a bummer. But it's like, man, I feel like it's easy to turn a blind eye to shit like this, but it's out there, man. And at the end of the day, what makes this kind of situation tricky is that because In any other country, this would be a government issue, but clearly the government is not capable of taking care of it. I've heard a lot of people saying that it's decreasing. I hear some people saying that it's increasing. I don't even really know. Are you exhausted? Yeah, I'm a little bit exhausted, for sure. I wanted to come on here and have a chat with the people, though. Let's see if I have any more stories. I have a lot of things on my mind, man. Right, so this has happened, like various versions of this has actually happened to me a couple times since I moved here. There's people approaching you. They want to sell something. They want to make you get into fucking a weird religion. There's weird shit going on, right? So I was wearing my Dungeons and Dragon, or no, not my, Magic the Gathering Teddy Fresh hoodie, right? And it has all these like weird spells on it on the back. There's this like pentagram thing or whatever, right? And this dude comes up to me in a Daisu. It's called Daisu. I was chilling, walking around, and I'm like, what the hell is this dude? He's like kind of following me, right? He's definitely like casing me. I get a little nervous when people do that. Sometimes it's viewers who want to say hi or whatever, and I love that. But I'm like, this dude doesn't look like our normal demographic. It's like maybe like a 30-year-old kind of mystic looking feller, long hair, leather coat, very mysterious guy. He's like, oh, you play Magic the Gathering? I see. And he keeps asking me these questions, and because he led up like, I love your hoodie. And I was like, oh, you like Teddy Fresh, you like H3. So I thought that's where he was going at, but he kept asking me questions like he didn't know me. So I figured he just, I guess, likes Magic the Gathering. And eventually it's like, oh, so you play Magic the Gathering, yada yada. And the questions just confused me more and more. He was like, do you live here, or do you work? You study here? And I was like, no, I moved here from Sweden not too long ago. And I'm like, this was pretty early on in my stay here. So I wasn't as anti talking to weird people as I am now. But it eventually got to a point where I'm like, oh, this dude is like a cold dude. Like, he's trying to recruit me in some shit. I wish I remember exactly what he said, but he said something like, it's like, hey, is there any way to contact you? I have this group. We're building a community. We stay down by and I'm like, oh, whoa. And I'm like, no, sorry. I don't really have any phone number I can give you or anything like that. And I just had to break that shit off, because when he started saying we, community, we live at, and I'm like putting all these things together. They live together, community. I was like, oh, this motherfucker is running a cult and he's trying to like recruit me. He said something else that like made it super crystal clear that it was a cult or some shit like that. So I ended up like just ending the conversation real quick, and he scared the shit out of me. Or he didn't scare me, but he made me feel uneasy. It was dark outside. It was like rainy. And this dude just comes up at me at a fucking random Daisu store. I'm like, oh wait, you're not here to shop. You're just here to recruit people. Super weird vibes. It's like really, really weird. All right, so I have a couple more stories. So there's a story about a crash that happened right in front of me, by the way, on my way home again. They totaled both the cars, and it happened literally the car in front of me. They got T-boned like that, boom. And I helped because I had footage of it. That's one of the stories. Then the other title is A Girl with a Knife in Old Apartment. This story is about the time where at the old place I stayed at, you can actually look out over, you see the other people's doors. So you see the outside doors. It's outdoor balconies that just stretch like this. Like not balconies, but just floors. The floors are exposed to my balcony. So from my balcony, you see every other story and their doors. There's 5 different floors, and there's like 7 doors on each floor, right? And this one time I'm watching TV, right? And I don't know if I'm gonna get into the story. I'm gonna give you guys a little teaser. I hear someone scream, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And because this is on the courtyard, most people who's lived in an apartment like with a courtyard knows it echoes. So I hear someone just say, I'm gonna fucking kill you. A girl screaming that, and it's like echoing in the apartment complex. And I just look out and I see someone running for their fucking life in front of all the doors. And then I see someone like walking like this, like breathing heavily, and they're holding a knife. She's not holding it like this. She's holding it like stabbing mode. She's walking like this, like it's a fucking horror movie. And that's the story. I'll tell you guys another day. It ended with me calling the police. I call police. And I've always suspected that they knew that I was the one calling the police, because they locked eye contact with me when I stood on my balcony looking out at them. And I actually have all this on video that I will be showing during the next story time. I have video of them getting arrested because they showed up with a SWAT team and surrounded the fucking door. Basically, like they crept like with the door and opened their door and like did some crazy shit. I didn't actually call the police. I called the security guard, saying there's someone running around with a knife. But that's a story for another time. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna end the stream, and I love you guys. Peace and love, Fika for life, and I'll see you guys in the next one, brothers. Bye bye, ciao ciao.